Imagine never feeling the destructive grip of anger again. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that ancient wisdom holds the key to mastering your emotions? In the next minutes, you'll discover Stoic secrets that have transformed countless lives throughout history. Picture navigating life's challenges with unshakable calm, turning potential meltdowns into moments of growth. Imagine the power you'd have if you could choose your emotional responses at will. This isn't just about anger management. It's about revolutionizing your entire emotional landscape. By the end of this video, you'll have practical, actionable Stoic techniques to not just control anger, but to achieve true emotional mastery. Get ready to unlock a calmer, wiser version of yourself. The anger trap. Why we fall for it every time. Have you ever found yourself seething with rage, only to later wonder why you let such a trivial matter get under your skin? You're not alone. Anger is a cunning adversary, one that's been hardwired into our brains since the dawn of humanity. It's a primal response, a vestige of our evolutionary past, when quick aggression could mean the difference between life and death. But in our modern world, this hair-trigger reaction often does more harm than good. Let's break down the anatomy of anger. It starts with a trigger, perhaps a rude comment, a perceived slight, or an unexpected setback. In a split second, your amygdala, the brain's emotional center, fires up like a furnace. Adrenaline surges through your body, your heart races, your muscles tense, and suddenly, you're ready for a fight. This physiological response happens faster than you can consciously process it. By the time you realize you're angry, you're already caught in its grip. But here's the kicker. Anger is often a secondary emotion. It's the guard dog protecting more vulnerable feelings like fear, hurt, or disappointment. When someone cuts you off in traffic, your anger isn't really about their poor driving. It's about feeling disrespected, or perhaps a deeper fear of being harmed. Understanding this can be a game changer in how you approach your emotional responses. The real trap of anger lies in its false promises. It whispers that it will solve your problems, that it will make you feel powerful and in control. But more often than not, anger leaves a wake of regret and damaged relationships. It's like a sugar rush. It feels good in the moment, but the crash that follows can be devastating. So why do we keep falling for it? Because anger is familiar. It's comfortable in its discomfort. It's easier to lash out than to look inward and confront our vulnerabilities. But here's the truth. Every time we give in to anger, we reinforce its power over us. We strengthen the neural pathways that make anger our go-to response. It's a vicious cycle, but one that we have the power to break. And that's exactly what we're going to learn how to do in this video. Stoic superpowers, reframing your reality. What if I told you that you possess a superpower, a mental ability so potent it can transform your entire emotional landscape? This isn't some new age mumbo-jumbo, but a time-tested Stoic principle, the power of reframing. It's the art of shifting your perspective, of seeing the world through a different lens. And when it comes to anger management, it's nothing short of revolutionary. Picture this. You're at a coffee shop and the barista gets your order wrong. Your first instinct might be frustration. How hard is it to make a simple latte? But what if instead you reframed the situation? Perhaps the barista is new and trying their best. Maybe they're dealing with personal issues that are affecting their focus. Suddenly your anger dissipates, replaced by empathy or even compassion. This is the essence of Stoic reframing. It's not about denying reality or suppressing your emotions. It's about choosing how you interpret events. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple yet profound insight is at the heart of emotional resilience. But how do we cultivate this superpower? It starts with awareness. The next time you feel anger bubbling up, pause, take a deep breath. Then consciously look for alternative explanations or perspectives. Ask yourself, is there another way to view this situation? What might I be missing? This simple act of questioning can create a crucial gap between stimulus and response, giving you the space to choose your reaction. Reframing isn't just about finding the silver lining. Sometimes it's about zooming out to see the bigger picture. That project deadline that's stressing you out. In the grand scheme of your life, or even your career, how significant is it really? That argument with your partner. In 5 years, will you even remember what it was about? This cosmic perspective can help deflate the balloon of anger before it even has a chance to fully inflate. As you practice this Stoic superpower, you'll find that it becomes more natural, more instinctive. You're rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways that bypass the anger response. It's like building a mental muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And before you know it, you'll be flexing this superpower in situations that once would have sent you into a rage. You're not just managing anger, you're transcending it. The dichotomy of control, your secret weapon against rage. Imagine you're holding a remote control. With it, you can change anything in your life. Exciting, right? Now, here's the catch. This remote only works on you. It can't control other people, external events, or circumstances. This, my friends, is the essence of the Stoic principle known as the dichotomy of control. And it's your secret weapon in the battle against anger. The ancient Stoic Epictetus laid it out plainly. Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But this straightforward concept has the power to revolutionize your emotional life. When you truly internalize this principle, you'll find that most of what triggers your anger falls into the not up to us category. Let's break it down. What's within your control? Your thoughts, your judgments, your actions, your responses. What's not? Other people's behavior, the weather, traffic, the economy. The list goes on. Yet how often do we rage against these uncontrollable factors? We get furious at the rain for ruining our plans, at our co-worker for being incompetent, at the stock market for crashing. But here's the kicker. Our anger changes nothing except our own state of mind. So, how do we apply this weapon against rage? Start by asking yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, take a deep breath and remind yourself that getting angry won't change the situation. It's like trying to stop a tsunami with your bare hands, futile and potentially harmful. Instead, focus on what you can control, your response. This doesn't mean becoming a passive observer of life. Far from it. The dichotomy of control empowers you to take decisive action where it matters most, in your own choices and attitudes. Can't control the traffic? Control your reaction to it. Use the time to listen to an audiobook or practice mindfulness. Can't control your boss's mood? Control how you interact with them and how you perform your tasks. As you practice this principle, you'll find your anger dissipating like morning mist under the sun. You'll stop wasting emotional energy on things beyond your influence and channel that energy into personal growth and meaningful action. The dichotomy of control isn't just a philosophical concept. It's a practical tool for emotional mastery. Wield it wisely and watch as your propensity for anger transforms into a wellspring of inner peace and effectiveness. Emotional alchemy, turning anger into wisdom. Picture a skilled alchemist, capable of transforming base metals into gold. Now, Imagine you could do the same with your emotions, turning the lead of anger into the gold of wisdom. This isn't fantasy. It's a Stoic practice that can revolutionize your emotional life. Welcome to the art of emotional alchemy. At its core, this practice is about viewing anger not as an enemy to be vanquished, but as a messenger carrying valuable information. When anger arises, instead of immediately reacting or suppressing it, take a moment to get curious. What is this anger trying to tell you? What values or boundaries of yours have been violated? This shift from reaction to introspection is the first step in our alchemical process. Let's say you're furious because your friend cancelled plans at the last minute. The old you might have lashed out or stewed in resentment. But now you pause and dig deeper. Perhaps this anger is revealing how much you value reliability, or how important this friendship is to you. Maybe it's highlighting a pattern of behavior that needs addressing. Suddenly, your anger isn't just a destructive force, it's a spotlight illuminating areas of your life that need attention. The next step in our alchemical process is to extract the lesson or insight from the anger. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can I use this experience to grow? Maybe you realize you need to communicate your expectations more clearly, or perhaps you discover that you've been overly dependent on others for your happiness. These insights are the gold we're after, valuable wisdom that can guide your future actions and decisions. But the alchemy doesn't stop there. Once you've extracted the wisdom, you can transmute the remaining energy of anger into positive action. Use it as fuel to have that difficult but necessary conversation, to set clearer boundaries, or to make changes in your life. This is how anger, when properly alchemized, can become a catalyst for positive change rather than a destructive force. As you practice this emotional alchemy, you'll find that anger loses its power over you. Instead of dreading or suppressing it, you'll welcome it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. You'll develop a kind of emotional fluency, able to navigate complex feelings with grace and insight. Remember, the goal isn't to never feel anger, it's to transform that anger into something valuable. In doing so, you're not just managing your emotions, you're mastering the art of turning life's challenges into opportunities for wisdom and personal evolution. The ripple effect. How your calm transforms others. Imagine dropping a pebble into a still pond. Watch as the ripples spread outward, touching everything in their path. Now picture your emotional state as that pebble. When you're angry, you create turbulent waves that disturb everything around you. But when you're calm, you generate gentle ripples of tranquility that can transform your entire environment. This isn't just poetic imagery, it's a powerful Stoic concept with real-world implications. The ancient Stoics understood that our actions and emotions don't exist in a vacuum. They recognized that we're all interconnected, and that our individual state of mind can have far-reaching effects on those around us. By mastering our own emotions, particularly anger, we don't just change ourselves, we change the world. Think about the last time you encountered someone who was radiating anger. How did it make you feel? Tense, defensive, maybe even angry yourself? Now flip the script. Remember a time when you interacted with someone who exuded calm and composure. It's likely that their serenity was contagious, helping you feel more at ease. This is the ripple effect in action. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you consistently maintain your composure in the face of challenges, you become a living example of emotional mastery. Your calm demeanor in a heated situation can de-escalate tensions and inspire others to follow suit. In a world that often seems driven by knee-jerk reactions and emotional outbursts, your steadiness becomes a beacon of reason and tranquility. Moreover, by refusing to engage in anger, you break the cycle of reactivity. Think about arguments you've had in the past. How often did your anger fuel the other person's anger, creating a destructive feedback loop? By choosing calm, you introduce a new element into the equation. You create space for understanding, for empathy, for resolution. Your ripples of tranquility can smooth out the rough waters of conflict. As you practice emotional mastery, you'll start to notice its effects on your relationships, your work environment, even your community. People will be drawn to your steady presence. They'll seek your advice in times of turmoil. You'll become a source of strength for others, all because you've learned to master your own inner world. Remember, true strength isn't about dominating others or asserting your will through force. It's about maintaining your composure and values, regardless of external circumstances. By doing so, you don't just change yourself, you become a catalyst for positive change in the world around you. Mind hacks, Stoic techniques to diffuse any situation. Imagine having a Swiss Army knife for your mind, equipped with tools to diffuse any anger-inducing situation. Well, guess what? The Stoics have gifted us with exactly that. These aren't just theoretical concepts, but practical, actionable techniques you can deploy in the heat of the moment. Let's unpack this emotional toolbox and arm you with some powerful Stoic mind hacks. First up, we have the view from above technique. When you feel anger bubbling up, imagine floating above the situation, seeing it from a great height. From this cosmic perspective, how significant is this problem really? Marcus Aurelius practiced this regularly, reminding himself of the vastness of the universe and the brevity of human life. Suddenly, that argument with your colleague or that traffic jam doesn't seem so earth-shattering, does it? Next, try the negative visualization hack. It sounds counterintuitive, but bear with me. When faced with a frustrating situation, take a moment to imagine how it could be worse. Your flight's delayed? Imagine it was cancelled. Your phone's acting up. Think about how inconvenient life would be without it entirely. This practice, called premeditatio malorum by the Stoics, helps cultivate gratitude and puts your current troubles in perspective. Here's another powerful tool, the "is it helpful?" filter. When anger strikes, ask yourself, is this emotion helpful in this situation? More often than not, the answer is no. Anger rarely improves a situation and often makes it worse. This simple question can create a crucial pause between stimulus and response, allowing you to choose a more constructive reaction. Don't forget the memento mori technique. Remember that you're mortal, and so is everyone around you. How would you act if this was your last interaction with this person? Would you choose anger or understanding? This reminder of our finite existence can quickly dissolve petty grievances and refocus us on what truly matters. Lastly, employ the role model hack. When facing a challenging situation, ask yourself, how would my ideal Stoic sage handle this? Imagine a person of unwavering calm and wisdom. Would they fly off the handle, or would they approach the situation with patience and understanding? By invoking this mental role model, you create a blueprint for your own behavior. These Stoic mind hacks aren't just philosophical exercises. They're practical tools for real-world emotional mastery. With practice, they'll become second nature, allowing you to navigate life's storms with grace and equanimity. Remember, the goal isn't to never feel anger, but to have the tools to manage it effectively when it arises. Before we move on, I want to remind you that your engagement fuels this channel. If you find value in what you're learning, please take a moment to like this video and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss out on more life-changing Stoic wisdom. Your support helps us continue providing content that can truly make a difference in people's lives. Now, let's continue this path to emotional mastery together. The anger antidote: cultivating unshakable inner peace. What if I told you there's an antidote to anger so powerful it can render you virtually immune to its toxic effects? This isn't some miracle drug or quick-fix solution. It's something far more potent and lasting: cultivating unshakable inner peace. This is the ultimate Stoic practice, the crown jewel of emotional mastery. But let's be clear. Inner peace isn't about becoming an emotionless robot or retreating from the world. It's about developing a core of tranquility so strong that external events can't easily disturb it. Think of it as building an emotional fortress, not to shut out the world, but to engage with it more effectively. So, how do we cultivate this inner peace? It starts with acceptance. The Stoics taught that much of our suffering comes from fighting against reality, from wishing things were different than they are. When you truly accept what is, without judgment or resistance, you remove the fuel that feeds the fire of anger. This doesn't mean you become passive. On the contrary, acceptance frees up energy that you can channel into constructive action. Another key ingredient is self-sufficiency. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, not from external circumstances. When you realize that your well-being doesn't depend on others' actions or on things going your way, you become far less susceptible to anger. Practice finding joy in simple things, in your own company, in the process of living itself. Mindfulness is also crucial. By staying present and aware, you can catch anger before it takes hold. Notice the physical sensations, the thoughts that arise. Don't judge them, just observe. This creates a space between stimulus and response, allowing you to choose your reaction rather than being swept away by emotion. Finally, cultivate a sense of cosmic connectedness. Remember that you're part of something much larger than yourself. Your individual troubles and frustrations shrink in importance when viewed against the backdrop of the vast, interconnected universe. This perspective doesn't trivialize your experiences, but it does help put them in proper proportion. As you practice these principles, you'll find that inner peace becomes your default state. Anger may still arise, but it will wash over you like waves against a cliff, unable to erode your core of tranquility. This inner peace becomes your superpower, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with grace and equanimity. Remember, this isn't achieved overnight. It's a lifelong practice. But with each step, you're not just avoiding anger, you're building a foundation of unshakable serenity that will serve you in every aspect of your life. Stoic time travel, zooming out for instant perspective. Imagine you had a time machine. Not the kind that lets you change the past, but one that allows you to view any moment from a different temporal perspective. This, my friends, is the essence of Stoic time travel, a powerful technique for gaining instant perspective and diffusing anger before it takes hold. The Stoics were masters at zooming out, both in space and time. They understood that our immediate emotional reactions are often based on a narrow, present-focused view. By expanding our temporal perspective, we can see the bigger picture and realize how insignificant many of our anger triggers really are. Here's how it works. The next time you feel anger rising, try projecting yourself into the future. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? More often than not, you'll find that the issue causing your anger is temporary and far less important than it seems in the heat of the moment. That argument with your partner? In a year, you probably won't even remember what it was about, that mistake at work that's making you furious. In 5 years, it'll likely be nothing more than a fading memory. But don't stop there. Take it further. Project yourself 10, 20, or even 50 years into the future. From that vantage point, how significant is this current problem? Does it deserve the emotional energy you're giving it? This exercise isn't about trivializing your experiences, but about putting them in proper perspective. Now let's reverse the time machine. Look back at past events that made you angry. How many of them still matter today? How many turned out to be blessings in disguise? This retrospective view can help you realize that many of the things we get angry about have little long-term impact on our lives. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the transient nature of all things. He wrote, "You have seen the present. Now look at the past and the future." This temporal zooming out helped him maintain equanimity in the face of challenges that would overwhelm most people. By practicing this Stoic time travel, you're not just avoiding anger, you're cultivating wisdom. You're training your mind to automatically consider the bigger picture before reacting emotionally. Over time, this habit can transform your entire emotional landscape, replacing knee-jerk anger with thoughtful reflection. Remember, the goal isn't to never feel anger, but to respond to life's challenges with a broader, more enlightened perspective. So the next time anger threatens to overtake you, hop in your mental time machine. You might be surprised at how quickly your fury fades when viewed from a different temporal vantage point. The strength in surrender, embracing what you can't change. Picture a mighty oak tree and a flexible reed in a storm. The oak, proud and unyielding, eventually snaps under the force of the wind. The reed, however, bends and survives. This, my friends, is the essence of Stoic surrender. Not weakness, but a profound strength that comes from accepting what we cannot change. In our culture, surrender often has negative connotations. We're taught to fight, to resist, to never give up. But the Stoics understood a profound truth. There's immense power in knowing when to let go. This isn't about passivity or resignation. It's about conserving your energy for things you can actually influence, rather than raging against the immovable. Think about the last time you were stuck in traffic. Did your anger make the cars move any faster? Of course not, but it probably raised your blood pressure, ruined your mood, and affected the rest of your day. Now imagine if you had surrendered to the reality of the situation. You might have used that time to listen to an audiobook, practice mindfulness, or simply enjoy a moment of pause in your busy day. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." This isn't about lowering your standards or giving up on your goals. It's about aligning your desires with reality, thereby eliminating a major source of anger and frustration. But how do we practice this surrender? Start by recognizing what's truly within your control. Your actions, your attitudes, your responses, these are yours to command. Everything else, let it go. When you find yourself getting angry about something, ask yourself, can I change this situation? If the answer is no, practice acceptance. This doesn't mean you have to like it, but fighting against it only causes you suffering. Remember, surrender isn't about giving up. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. It's about channeling your energy where it can actually make a difference. As you practice this, you'll find a new kind of strength emerging. The strength to face life's challenges with equanimity and grace. By embracing Stoic surrender, you're not just avoiding anger, you're cultivating resilience. You're developing the flexibility to bend without breaking, to flow with life, rather than constantly fighting against it. This doesn't mean you'll never feel frustrated or disappointed, but it does mean you'll have the tools to navigate these emotions without letting them control you. In the end, true strength isn't about dominating the world around you, it's about mastering your inner world. Leveling up, from anger management to emotional mastery. Imagine you're playing a video game. You've been stuck on the anger management level for a while, making progress but still struggling. Now it's time to level up to emotional mastery. This isn't just about controlling anger anymore. It's about transforming your entire emotional landscape. Welcome to the boss level of Stoic practice. Emotional mastery goes beyond simply managing negative emotions. It's about cultivating a rich, nuanced emotional life where you're not at the mercy of your feelings, but in harmony with them. Think of it as becoming the conductor of your emotional orchestra, able to create beautiful symphonies from the full range of human experiences. So how do we make this leap? First, we need to shift our perspective. Instead of seeing emotions as something to be controlled or suppressed, view them as valuable data. Every emotion, even anger, carries information about our values, needs, and perceptions. The emotionally masterful Stoic doesn't ignore this data. They analyze it, learn from it, and use it to inform their actions. Next, practice emotional granularity. This means developing a more precise emotional vocabulary. Instead of just feeling angry, are you frustrated, disappointed, insecure? The more accurately you can identify your emotions, the better equipped you are to respond to them constructively. This nuanced understanding allows you to address the root causes of your feelings rather than just their surface manifestations. Another key aspect of emotional mastery is developing the ability to hold seemingly contradictory emotions simultaneously. You can feel frustrated with a situation while also being grateful for the learning opportunity it presents. You can be angry at someone's actions while still having compassion for them as a fellow human being. This emotional complexity is a hallmark of true mastery. Remember, the goal isn't to never feel negative emotions. It's to develop the capacity to experience the full spectrum of human emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It's about responding rather than reacting, choosing rather than being compelled. This is where all the Stoic practices we've discussed come together: reframing, the dichotomy of control, emotional alchemy, cultivating inner peace. They all contribute to this higher level of emotional functioning. As you progress on this journey, you'll find that you're not just avoiding anger, you're creating a rich, fulfilling emotional life. You're developing a kind of emotional superconductivity, able to process and channel your feelings in ways that enhance rather than hinder your life. This is the true power of Stoic emotional mastery. It's not about becoming emotionless, but about becoming emotionally wise. Welcome to the next level of your personal evolution. I hope you enjoyed the video and found the Stoic techniques valuable. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights that can transform your emotional life. But remember, your journey doesn't end here. The principles we've discussed today are just the beginning of your path to emotional mastery. Don't miss out on this crucial next step in your growth. Check out this video now on your screen, where we dive deeper into practical applications of Stoicism that can further enhance your life. Embrace the journey, and let's continue evolving together.